Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Next Level Real Talk Podcast, where we have conversations on the journey of personal transformation and the pursuit of lasting peace and happiness with Sheldon. And welcome back to another episode of Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon and David. Here we are, another week.
Another week gone by, another week here, and another time to hang out and talk a little bit and see where
Yeah,
everybody is in the world.
just share some thoughts and ideas,
Mhm.
and hopefully people are getting stuff out for something out of these little times together. We
Yeah,
appreciate you sharing the journey with us, and um,
yeah.
so
Hopefully,
we
hopefully, you're out there finding that peace and happiness and a journey. You won't
yep,
find it today, maybe, but
yep,
it's a good old journey. So make sure you're out there. And if you have any questions, always ask, always talk. Give us comments, and you know, and hopefully, you're talking to other people out. I know this is kind of like sounds like the end of our show, but it's the beginning of our show because we're
yep,
just
yep.
talking. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and talk to people because someone may need it.
Yeah,
So I'll tell you what, and know as we talk about our own life stuff, which is kind of like that's why we love having guests too, because we're all different, have different things going on, and hopefully get something out of it. So,
yeah,
and today's topic, we're kind of just talking about just being where you are and trying not to control too much,
yeah,
right, Sheldon?
yeah. Making room for some kind of higher power, and I think Dave and I are, I think you and I were both kind of non-denominational about that. Like,
Hmm.
but opening space in the heart for something, in the 12 steps, they literally call it your higher power. So they try to be as open about that as possible, right? So they're not being specific about, oh, you got to call it this or this, but being open to a higher
Hmm.
power higher than yourself, greater than yourself, that you're opening space for, right? To come in, right? That you're
Yeah.
allowing that. And what it does is it takes you the metaphysics of that, as you will. People will talk about that, study that stuff. Will say it's the egoic mind, the mind that says
Hmm.
I'm in
Yeah.
control, I have everything. And can you let go of that a little bit, right? So we had a pretty funny quote that I think you wanted. I don't just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. So it says, I'll just say it. I won't put it up there, but it says, saw this on Facebook, so it's real. Yeah,
So we know it's 100%
yeah,
fact, right?
yeah,
It's,
100% fact. But it is when you hear it, it's
yeah.
just like, oh, that's real. It said, I told God I was overwhelmed. He said, "quote Then stop trying to do my job."
Right.
I'm like, oh, you know what? That's kind of real.
Yeah. It's
So,
it's funny, right? And again, if God or whatever the word is for your higher power, right?
mhm,
It's like the egoic mind wants to control everything, right? And it does
mhm,
it from a place of fear. So that's the neuroscience of it. They call it the default mode network. The default mode network is a place of fear.
mhm.
It's they've literally studied your brain, right? They hook up the brain scanner. And if you're sitting there doing nothing, they say, just chill out and do nothing.
You're doing something.
You're worrying.
Yes.
The default mode network of your brain is
Mm,
to worry. Like literally, they call the DMN in neuroscience
mm.
is a pathway of anxiety and worry. That's what people do. Like
Oh,
95%
interesting.
of people, they're not at peace, right? They're not just
Hmm.
quiet. They literally don't know how to do that, right? So the mind is always, that's part of the biology of the mind, right?
Yeah.
Because it sees your body as separate from all the other beings out there, right?
Hmm.
And all the teachings, including the teaching of Jesus, is that we're one, right? And you're supposed to
Hmm.
love thy neighbor as thyself, right? That's the primary teaching, is that we're all connected and we're all one. And
And the whole thing is you, me, all of us, we try to control everything. Well,
yeah,
I want to go this way. I
yeah,
mean, in my life, I was trying to control things, and it
yes,
was like God's like, I let go at one point. He's like,
yep,
oh, you wanted me to be a teacher,
yeah,
which became my career. I didn't want to be a
right,
teacher,
right,
but that was the ultimate let go of
right,
my life.
right,
It was like, wow, that's weird.
right,
But I had to go through a journey
yep,
to get there and let go
yep,
of what I wanted, my ego self wanted,
right,
and go, hey, what do you want me to do?
right,
I'll say it again. I was literally on my knees in Colorado, in my apartment, Aurora, Colorado. I'll never forget the moment. And I was on my knees yelling and screaming, go, what do you want me to do? I followed you out here, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I want you to be a teacher. So I've been
stop doing
telling you.
my job.
Yeah. And so stop doing my job and
I've been
go
trying
back
to
and be
point
a
you in a
teacher.
specific direction.
which there were multiple steps that I was being told, be a teacher,
and
be a teacher. And I
and
did.
what is the one of the what is one of the signs that you're following in alignment with that is, to me, is peace. You
Yes.
will feel a sense of
Mhm.
peace inside your own physicality. So your body becomes this tuning fork of, am I doing what I'm
Yep.
supposed to be doing? It doesn't mean there won't be challenges to certain things,
No.
but there will be
But
this.
you're not fighting it.
Yeah,
You're not fighting it to say,
yeah,
I need to put the circle into the square hole.
yeah, you're not.
No, that's
Yeah,
not if you're now that square may be a little off, but
yeah,
you can get it through there because
yeah,
it's going smooth. For me, I was like, really? You want me to go? I moved out here to Colorado for this job. You want me to move all the way back to Arizona, go back to school? I just gave up my city Tempe job, which was a good job. I the first call I made, well, obviously my mom. Second call I made was to Gary Allen, who was my big boss at City Tempe, and I just told him what I feel I'm being led to do. And his first comment was, "Get yourself here. We'll get food on your table till you're done." He goes, "Well," I told him I'll be a maintenance man. Just give me a job. He was like, "No, you come back. We'll take care of you until you're done." I was like,
that's beautiful.
"Oh," I'm like, "Okay, this is real." It wasn't like, "Okay, we'll make you the maintenance man one day a week. You know, I'm not going to make much money." It's like, "No, we'll take care of you."
Yeah,
And
that's
dude,
beautiful.
that changed my life. I was like, "Wow, that was too easy." It's like
Yeah,
that was like, now if he said no, do this, do that, then I'm fighting something.
yeah,
Okay, because that's what
yeah,
I wanted to
yeah,
do, and basically going to Colorado was what I wanted to do,
yeah,
and it fell apart. And I
yeah,
was trying to put things together to make it work, and that phone call put me at ease
yeah,
and said, "Wow, this is going to work.
yeah,
There's someone there that's going to support me,"
yeah,
and so that's what we're talking about is like things will work itself out
yeah,
and help you. You know, yeah, there were some roads. It was tough, you
yeah,
know, getting back and doing that and going to school and doing something totally new. And but it was hard work, but it doesn't mean it wasn't meant to be.
yeah,
Now, if I'm fighting the whole way, then yes, that's a problem.
yeah.
You know,
And
so
the just to sort of pound this a little harder, your mind, uh, in the Course of Miracles, it literally says your mind is insane. It says it a
mhm,
bunch of times. You are insane. Your
mine is.
brain is insane. Why? Because it thinks you're separate and you're not. So
Hmm.
the energy within you, the divine spark, whatever you want to call that, the face of Christ within your brother, see the face of Christ within your brother, right? You're supposed to see the face. That is a spark of divinity. And that fractal of divinity is connected to all of creation and all, and so that's your reality. And if you think your
Hmm.
reality is you're the separate dude trying to get a job, and having to figure out your life, right, by yourself, then
Hmm.
you're insane because your point of reference is incorrect. And
Hmm.
so I used to say that it's kind of like if you have a map of San Francisco and you know where you think you're trying to get home in San Francisco, but you're actually in New York City,
Hmm.
but you've got a map of San Francisco and some of the streets have the same name, right? So you're on,
Hmm.
you're
Yep.
on Fifth Street in San Francisco, but you're in New York City and you've got this map of San Francisco. You will never get home, right? That
Yeah.
map will never get you there because it's the
Hmm.
wrong map. And it's kind of like that. Your whole frame of reference is incorrect. And that's what the
Hmm.
mind is doing. The mind thinks you're a separate being and that is your reality. And the truth of the matter is, when you go into your heart, you can feel the connection with other beings, with other
Yeah.
people. You feel that energy. You can feel your connection to source. You can feel those things. So the mind, so what they say is the divine is beyond the capacity of the mind to comprehend. Your brain actually can't comprehend it. It makes no sense.
Hmm.
Like, right. When things happen, oh, I was guided here. Well, that made no sense. Made no practical sense. It's
Hmm.
insane on the level of the mind, right? It doesn't make any sense. And yet when you follow it, what happens? You feel fulfillment, you feel peace, you found your life's calling and your journey,
Hmm.
right? All of this
Yep.
stuff flows into place because so they say it's beyond the capacity of the mind to comprehend, but it's well within the ability of your beingness, your heart
If
and your
you
body to
yeah.
feel it
if you
and to
if you
live.
open up, yeah,
Yes.
if you open up, you see and hear and feel it, whatever you want to say it is. The
And we talked
so
about last week that
if
the mind is a tyrannical master, but the loyal servant of an awakened heart, right? So
yeah.
again, that idea that when you follow your mind as the primary brain, it's operating from the wrong operating system. It thinks it's using a map of San Francisco when you're in New York.
Mhm.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's not aligned properly. But when you do get that alignment by dropping into the heart, and you use your mind to fulfill the guidance of the heart's telling me I want to do this or that, or I should teach. Okay,
Mhm.
now the mind is going. And how do you know that that works? Things start to fall into place.
So, yeah, so
Like that
when
guy
you're
saying, "Hey, don't worry
like
about it.
for
We're going
me,
to take care of you."
like for me, when I'm sitting there and you go into meditation, that's listening. That's letting things go and listening,
100%.
getting out of your mind and going like, okay, where am I? It's like, and those thoughts, a lot of thoughts might come into you, but that's where you've rested and hopefully let your brain go
Yep.
and just say, what am I feeling?
I had
And you got to listen to it and go like, and they'll go, oh, this is it. No, listen to it. Go like, okay, you said be a teacher. That's weird, but yeah, I had this, I had this. Then you start seeing
opening.
things
Yeah.
like when that teacher at Corona made me asked me to be a sub. I walked in. He goes, "Okay, you're teaching this today." I'm like, in the book. I'm like, "Whoa, dope." Each book said it. This is what I want you to teach today. This is the page. I'm like, dude wants me to do what? I came in with the newspaper to read and let them freaking just sit there and hang out. I'm not teaching. And so I taught all the classes and called me the next day and says, dude, he goes, you don't get it. He goes, you taught them and they understood it. I go, yeah, but you're a teacher. He's like, no, I've been trying to teach them this one piece. He goes, the way you said it was so different that they got it.
They
It was
got it.
not that I'm a bad teacher,
Yeah.
but the way you had a sense of how to teach them. If you
And
need to be a teacher,
and that's a
whatever.
talent. That's a gift.
Yes. And then Mr. Lyons, our old principal, told me I need to be a teacher. Dude, you're crazy. I don't want to be a teacher. So all these little signs that kept coming up that I was like, whatever.
Yep.
It's like I was not, I had a plan of what I wanted to do. I wasn't going in and meditating, going, okay, what is this? Oh, this sign here, this sign's here, this sign's here. So when I got to Colorado and that all happened, it was like, oh,
I,
here's a sign. This is going to be an easy way out. Okay,
you know,
or in.
when you're talking about meditation versus prayer, I was doing meditations at a Lululemon. It was like a public thing, and they could come in and do a 5-minute meditation with me. And it was a little thing that the Lululemon had. And they were, I was trying to, get out the whole Three Rivers thing back. And this is back in like 2017.
Mhm.
And this gentleman and his wife's shopping at Lululemon. So he's sitting down. So I had a lot of the guys, where the women were shopping at Lulu. And then
Yep.
the guys sit
Mhm.
down and go, "Hey, you want to do a 5-minute meditation with me real quick?" And the guy was, I think he was actually Korean, right? And so some
Wow.
of the Korean pastors can be very uh, in their ego about their pastorship, right? And he goes,
Yeah.
and not everybody, but it's not uncommon either, right? So he's just like, "Well," and I think, was this before or after? I think it was before we were set. He just sat down. He started talking to me, and he goes, "Well,
Mhm.
I'm a Christian. I'm a pastor." He goes, "I believe in prayer." And he was
Mhm.
kind of had this sort of smugness about it. And I said, "That's a beautiful thing." I
Mhm.
said, "I believe in prayer too. I pray all the time." I
Yeah.
said, "But meditation is listening, just like you said." I
I
said,
was just gonna
"Prayer."
say, you need to pray.
Yeah,
I'll pray about it, but you gotta listen too.
yeah.
And that's where the meditation comes in.
I
I
said,
can say a prayer, "What do you want me to do, Lord? Where are we
yeah,
at?" Let's sit back and listen
yeah. So I told
instead
him
of
that.
control.
I
Mhm.
said, "To me, prayer is talking, meditation is listening, and you need
Mhm.
both, and they
Yep.
can work together." And, and he was just like, because I kind
Yeah,
of got him a little, and he was like, "Oh, he never thought about it." And I said, "Yeah, you should try
'cause it's
practicing
true.
both. You can have your faith, your Christian faith, and absolutely open yourself through the path of meditation for divine guidance."
Mhm.
In the Bible, it's
Yeah.
called revelation. They called it
You know,
revelation.
and that's what I wrote down, prayer and meditation, what you
Yeah.
just said. So same wavelength. It's like you gotta have both
Yes.
because you
It's
gotta
it's
talk about it and then listen to what is going on.
yeah.
And there's a song, I think it's a good time to bring up the song. It's by Casting Crowns, Christian song, Just Be Held. And uh first part of it says, hold it all together. Everyone needs you strong, but life hits you out of nowhere and barely leaves you holding on. So it's talking about you having a tough time
Mhm.
trying to figure things out. So the
And
lines that I
holding
want to
on,
talk and holding on. Yeah.
gripping
You're
on to
holding on
things.
to what you want,
Yeah. Your
and
ideas of how things should be or whatever.
mhm. And in the chorus, the first couple lines, it says, so when you're on your knees and answers seem so far away. So in life, when you're just like, I just don't know what's going on. I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do. I'm in Colorado. What do I do? You
Mhm.
know, these next two lines are awesome. You're not alone. Stop holding on and just be held.
Yeah.
So I say, you're not alone. There's people there.
Yeah.
God's there. Your divine powers there. Your wolf pack's there.
Yep.
Stop holding on to what you want,
Yep.
and just be held. Be held by your wolf pack. Be held by your divine. Be
Yep.
held by divinity, whatever. And then it says this. This is the best line in the world. Your worlds are not falling apart. It's falling into place.
Yeah.
And so my world was falling apart. I'm in
It looks like
Colorado.
it on one level to your
Yeah,
brain,
totally.
right?
I'm in Colorado going like, what is going on? This is what I'm supposed to do. It's falling apart. It's move trigger and move back. You can't kidding me. Oh no, it's falling into place in a different way that I saw it falling into place.
Yep.
So you may be going through those hard times in that toughness or situation, but step back, say your prayer, do your meditation and listen and say, where is this going to? And then I realized, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be going. Because I had a skill, a talent by the grace of God that I was given
Mm-hmm.
to teach.
Yep.
Because when I was a substitute teacher and I loved it, everyone's like, oh, you need to be a teacher. If you're like Sheldon, man, you're weird.
Yeah.
And look what I've done in 35 years now.
Yeah.
That was my life.
Yep.
It's so funny after last week we were talking, you're talking about some, how I've touched people and they've touched me. And this week I was going like, wow, that person, this person.
Yep.
Even in school right now, this moment, some of the kids that, hey, Smitty, how you doing? Hey, Smitty. I'm like, this is weird. I'm just a librarian, but no, they're all hanging out.
Yeah.
And I had some kids that I talked to throughout the week that I've had before. I'm like, wow, I helped that person go this one way.
Mm-hmm.
We had a diver this week that's trying to make decisions if she wants to dive or not. And I guarantee you, if I wasn't there, I'm not a dive coach. I'm the swim coach.
Yep.
She came and talked to me and she was crying. And I go, hey, let's just be okay tonight. Go home, talk to your parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I go, I want you to make your decision. I can't help you.
Yep.
But we'll talk. You call me tonight with your parents on the phone. And we talked and said, hey, you did this. And she's just anxiety was going on. And that allowed me to be in the right space at the right time. I didn't know I was going to be there, but I know 35 years ago, God knew what I was going to do.
Yep.
Because she's going to be right there at that moment where she needs to talk to you.
Yep.
No one else.
Yep.
And so you gotta be willing to let go and not know what's going to happen.
Right.
But if it feels right and it's fitting into place, okay, it's not falling apart.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's falling into place.
Yeah. And
okay?
having to do a certain amount of trust in that. Yep.
If something breaks, it's got to fall back. So it's broken.
Yep.
I'm not gonna argue that. It
Yep.
sucks.
Yep.
But those pieces are coming back together.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah. Sometimes it can look like it on the surface, but it's there's something going on there that you may not be aware of, right? That is happening, right? And so does take some trust in that. But I think that also as you, when you were talking about holding on, there was I think it's in the Taoist teachings, they talk about this, the imagery of water in a river, right? So the Chinese Taoists spelled Tao, it's pronounced like a D. So the Taoists, right, they're really into flow and energy and all this kind of stuff. And so they would talk about, when you're holding on to the side of a riverbank by your hands and you're gripping onto the side of a riverbank and the river's flowing past you, it's a lot of work, right? Because you're feeling the current of the water pulling you and you're struggling to hold on to the side of the river. And when you just let go, all of a sudden you're floating and the river becomes completely still. It feels still because it's just flowing. In other words, you're going with the flow. So you're supported, right? So you're just floating and you're supported and you're held up and you're flowing along the current of life in the direction you're supposed to. But when you're fighting it, you're holding on and it feels like I'm supposed to go over here and you're trying to get onto the cross, and you're holding on to the side of this stupid thing. It's like, no, you're not supposed to hold on to the side of it. You're supposed to let go. So there's this imagery there about just letting go and being with the flow, allowing the flow to take you. And trusting in that. Sometimes it does take some trust, right? And it does, but the key is that meditation component of really letting go of the mind, of quieting the mind so that the heart can open, so the connection can be felt within your body. It's really about the felt experience, right? The known, felt, embodied experience of what that is. And that's the all the different schools and teachings, they're all actually doing that. If you get to the bottom of them, in Hinduism, they call it the Atman, the divine within you, the right? So you
Mhm.
self-realization is this idea of connecting to the divine within you and then connecting that to the divine that's outside of you, Brahman. So they go, the Atman merges with Brahman. Phew, you know, that's
Mhm.
the deal. First thing you got to do is connect to the Atman within you, which is the divine within you, and then you connect that to the divine that's all everywhere, and that is the merging. And so they actually talk about the dynamics of that, like very, very, very specifically, because they've studied that for like 5,000 years. But it's literally the same of seek first the kingdom within, right? So,
Mhm.
when you really get to all of the teachings on the most mystical level, they're all saying the same thing. Um,
Mhm. And a big thing is, that part of like, let me do my job in that first
yep.
quote, it's
hmm
like, I'm exhausted. Well, yeah, because you're exhausted. You're holding on, like you're holding on to that riverbank.
It's a
Like,
lot of work.
look, stop, I got you.
Right.
And I've had many times where it's been like, I'm like struggling. I go, I got this. It's like, just stop.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep.
That time when I had that angel, literally had that angel experience, I'd say God experience, um, feeling those hands on my hip and my shoulder
Yep.
and just saying I was stressing about the stuff going on with Ari's birth, and then my mom passing, the whole all that stuff, just everything there. I was creating more problems than what was there,
Yep.
and it was a literally let go.
Yep.
I've got this. It's okay. Just listen to me and go on with what you're doing. You're going to be fine. It was obviously awakening for me just to feel that, and didn't hear anything. There weren't voices. It wasn't like
Yep.
lights. It wasn't like it was literally hands on my hip and my shoulder,
Yep.
kind of pushing me down.
Yep.
And
And everyone
so
will be different about how they receive that kind of information.
exactly.
Some people it will be visions and stuff. Sometimes it
Hmm.
will. Some people it will be. I heard the voice of. Some people was I
Yes,
felt the presence. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's
It's all
it's
different,
it's all different.
but you have to be open to
Yes.
that
Yes.
and be willing to go like, okay, what's going on, and just process all those things. But the biggest thing is you know, letting go of things that are keeping you are a hurdle to you at
Yeah.
that point.
And
Yes,
feeling.
like if you want to be, I wanted to be that hospital administrator. I
Yeah.
get it, but is that what I need to be? No, that's not what I need to be, and that's where you got to go. Okay, sit back, relax, see. Still want to be that administrator, but what are they talking about being a teacher or
Yeah.
whatever you're going to do? What is this? What are they talking about? Oh wow, this is kind of a smooth
Yeah.
turn where I can go to.
Yep.
You know,
So
so
there's a Einstein quote. We quoted Einstein a couple of episodes ago about, the uh, widening circles of compassion. Remember,
mhm,
that,
yeah.
the mind is an optical delusion. Time, the mind is an optical delusion of your consciousness and it limits you. And then your goal is to expand your circles of compassion to include all of humanity and all of
Mhm.
creation, right? So that was an Einstein quote. Another one he says is that because he was very spiritual, very deep. Einstein was. He
Mm,
was very, very deep. And a lot of those physicists were of the time. But he has another quote that he says, you can act as if the entire world, everything in the world is a miracle or nothing is a miracle.
mm,
And he's like, I prefer to act as if everything is a miracle because
mhm,
everything is a miracle, right? And so um, I got some. So my roommate from college, one of my best friends in college, died. Uh, and I just found out last week, a week ago,
couple
Friday,
weeks ago.
a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
mhm,
Week and a couple of days, and it was pretty. I hadn't talked to him in like 20 years, right? I messaged him
mm,
through Instant Messenger on Facebook, Instant Messenger in 2022, but that was the first time I talked to him literally in like 20 years, and it was like 5 minutes of
mm,
chatting back and forth, and then he went on his way, and I never heard from him again. But it was on my heart, and I was feeling that, and I had to fly, and I'm last Sunday, I'm flying out to Colorado, and this little kid's going with her family. This tiny little girl, probably like 5 years old, and she's got a sweatshirt
mhm,
on. It's like big old sweatshirt, and it says U.S. Naval Academy on it.
mm.
So, you know, and then five
Wow.
minutes later, a teenage girl walks around. She's got a tank top, a t-shirt on, and a tank top, and it says 87. 87 was our graduating class,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so I was just like, whoa, and it felt like little Mike winks, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm on YouTube and I'm scrolling, and the news feed of my YouTube had a train car pile up. There was a massive train derailment, like 22 cars crashed into each other,
Mm,
and it was a big thing. And I click on the video, and it was one of those videos where it doesn't even have the audio; it's just video of this helicopter flying over, like all these train cars derailed.
Mhm.
I'm like, I wonder where that happened in Texas. That's interesting. Wonder where it happened. Didn't say. It was all silent. It was just the raw video of this train
Mhm.
crash. I had to click into the comments or into the description of the video. I don't know why I was doing that. I was curious what town it was in Texas,
Which one normally you wouldn't be.
which
You're
normally I wouldn't
being
care.
you're being pushed. You're
Right?
being pushed a little bit.
Gordon,
Mhm.
Texas. That's his last name, Mike Gordon.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like,
You could just say Gordon, Texas. I don't know what that is.
yeah,
No, but there's some connection somewhere,
yeah.
which is his name.
So and then the next day, I'm in line. The hotel has a Starbucks in there. I'm in Grand Junction, Colorado, and the woman in front of me has a workout gear, but it has lettering that's vertical down the
Mm.
spine of the back. And I'm kind of doing one of these, like, huh, what's that? Wonder what that? Just curious, right? I'm standing behind her and I'm looking at it. U.S. Naval Academy.
Really?
And I never see that stuff. I mean, very rarely do you see a Naval Academy
Yeah.
stuff. And so, like,
But you see it all
so
right
in
after
2
you
days, I'm
pass.
seeing this like left and right. And the GM that I'm training, his center number is 0789. 0879. And so the 87, he's got this thing that's in a circle, and the 0 and the 9 are off to the side. So it says 87 in the middle, which again was our
Wow.
class. So it just felt like all these little things. And your mind will say, oh, that's just stupid. That's silly. But for me, it just felt like these little tiny miracles of
The little winks
affirmation
going on.
and
Mhm.
God winks that we were talking about. And I got another
Yeah.
one. So this was all last week. So I think I mentioned that I was having this feeling, this calling to feed homeless, right?
Mhm.
And it came in a meditation, and then it was dreamt about it for 2 nights in a row, and all these things about, like, go out there and just help somebody, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
knowing that in my own energy, my own heart, I get really tight around homeless people. Like,
Hmm.
I feel judgment, like, get the fuck away from me. Like,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
homeless guy walks up to you and it's just like, hey, get the fuck away from me.
Stay away from me, yeah.
Fuck away from me, man. I don't need you, like, and we're sitting here talking about all this love and stuff, right? But
Yeah,
I
you
know that
feel
I
that.
have that inside my beingness. And for
Mhm.
me, my own practice is like, if I have that kind of feeling of separation, and we're all supposed to be one and connected, and you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself, you're supposed to love the meek and the weary and poor and all of that, then where
Mhm.
is that in your, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And
Yep.
is there something there that needs a little healing? And for me, the way I approach this stuff, it's healing within my own heart, right? There's something
Yep.
there. And
Mhm.
so, and I've known I've had that for forever. I just sort of bury it, right? And of course, the
Mhm.
miracle says there can be no hidden corners of your mind. There, your mind is your judging place, right?
Mhm.
Like, is it possible to love all of humanity and all of creation and everything? And that's what that Einstein quote was saying, right? So, can you
Mhm.
expand to
Expanda. Mhm.
have compassion for all beings, right? And I know that there's this little corner in my heart that's just like, fuck you. Like, get away from me. You're freaking me out right
Yeah.
now. And then when I start thinking about it, it's overwhelming. Like, there's so many homeless. Like, what are you going to do? You can't make a difference.
Mhm.
Don't even
But
try.
that's what kinda got you there is, like, that I won't say anger, but,
Yep.
that aggressiveness, but now that's kinda you're kinda like, wow,
It
that
def
got you to the point where like, "Hey, I need this." It kinda
Yeah.
helps you get to the side. I hate to say
Right.
it, that's the whole way at it, but
So then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this, right? Like, fuck, and I kind of like fight with it all the time. Like, yeah, man, you want me to do this? You better show me a sign, because I don't want to do that.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Like, fuck. So, um, and last weekend I didn't get to do it. It just, stuff came up and we didn't have time. I ran out of time because so one of the dreams was just cook some more food than you need and give away the extra.
Mhm.
You don't have to
Yeah.
start this thing with a whole full blown soup kitchen or whatever, right? But I
Yeah.
had this idea that had come to me in just the dreams, is like, hey, you start a nonprofit. Actually, it was in the meditation, it's more conscious. Start a
Mhm.
nonprofit so that people can give you money and it can be tax write off, right? You could even have a cafe, right? And then the first dream was like, you started off just giving the food away, but the food was such good quality, because one of my things was I didn't want to use cheap crap. I wanted to use high quality, real
Mhm.
food. And
Yeah.
and normal people would be getting it and they go, wow, this is great. Can I buy some? Right. And so then it created this weird energy of like, okay, maybe we could have a cafe, and the cafe could be under the nonprofit umbrella. right? And
Mhm.
in the
As you
nonprofit
cook
world,
that, you get extras, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, and you could charge extra because when somebody gives you money to a nonprofit and you give them something in return, you actually can't write that off because that's like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
bought something, right?
Mhm.
But I could say, hey, that food's $10, but I'm charging you 20, and the other 10 is a donation to the nonprofit. So
Mhm.
you're supporting the nonprofit. So we're going to charge you more than you should, but it's inherent in the whole thing. And and I was even in my head going, I could create 2 receipts. Here's your receipt for the food. That's not a tax deductible. Here's a $10 donation receipt, and you can use that and write it off in your taxes.
Mhm.
So I was doing all this weird shit in my head, right? And it's all convoluted and whatever, right? So I'm in Grand Junction and I'm looking for places to go. And there's Spoon's Bistro, and it looks like a bakery bistro, and it looks like it's good. So I go to the parking lot, and there's this hospice home, senior care hospice center, and then you had to go
Mhm.
down below, and there's a beautiful plaza out there, and then the cafe is underneath. And my coworker, my teammate, was late, so I'm just standing around, kind of like. So there's a sign in front, and I'm reading the sign, and the bottom of the sign says, here, let me see. The bottom of the sign says that it's a nonprofit,
Mm.
and it gives the portion of the nonprofit proceeds go. It's part of this greater nonprofit hospice care facility, and when you buy the food there, all the proceeds are supporting this nonprofit that's upstairs.
Oh, cool. Which is
And I'm
exactly
like,
where you wanna go.
that's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was thinking
Mhm.
about. I'm like, oh shit, that's exactly.
So that's something you can look at now and go, "Hey, I wanna go
It's
after that little model kinda,"
There,
you know?
the model's already there for you, dude. You're like
Yep.
making it up in
You
your
don't
head.
have to.
There's people doing it, right?
Mhm.
So then 2 days later, I'm getting a coffee in a different cafe in Grand Junction, and it's the same thing. It's a
Wow.
nonprofit working with kids. I think it's like a developmentally slightly whatever, right? And so
Mhm.
they're a work project, and they allow some of these adults to work in this place, and that might be a little on the spectrum or whatever, right? So they were working with youth and adults in developmental things, and they
Mhm.
were part of a greater nonprofit. And so all the proceeds from this cafe were supporting the nonprofit, and they actually employed some of them, and they allowed a work path for them.
Cool.
And so I was just
So
like,
that's
oh,
that's just kinda like you going through, yeah, you've listened, you wanna do this, but now it's even more now that you're doing it's like there's signs showing you, "Okay, this is where I want you to go. This is what
this
I
is
want
how
you to
you do
do."
it. It's already
Making
being
it
done.
easy.
It can be done
So it's
exactly what
being
you're.
open, yeah, being open and just be willing to let go of what of your anger,
Yep,
if I can say that, you let go of your anger of that,
yeah,
and now you're seeing things in a whole different light, like, "Oh, wow, that's helping the homeless. Oh, this is helping that nonprofit. Oh,
yeah,
this is helping this." And so it's exactly the models that you want to use. So your eyes are open now
yeah,
and you see it.
yeah. That was
Once you get past that.
wild.
Yeah.
But it can feel like, oh shit. Okay. And
Yeah.
that for me, because again, I'm looking at the world as it can be magical and it can be
Mhm.
miraculous and beautiful, that those are signs, right? Some
Yeah.
people go, "Oh, it's just a sign, it's a coincidence, it's just a stupid sign on a restaurant. What difference does it make?" No, 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 dude. I was literally
No,
thinking about that, and now there's a sign saying
and
it's
yeah,
exactly the format you were talking about.
it's a big sign because you would have done it anyway, but now it's like, okay, I got to do this whole thing on my own. Oh no, now there's already an idea out there. I could go see you could go visit those. Hey,
First,
I'd like to come to your place
how
because
do you
I'm
do
thinking of
that?
doing
What
something
how is it
too.
set up? I could literally it's a template is
Yes,
already there.
just like I just want to know, and I will probably do something different. Who knows? Maybe the same,
Yeah,
but you have some idea at least to start,
yeah,
and so that's like, wow,
yeah,
this is meant to be
yeah.
because
I
now it's
s
not as hard. If I can
Yeah.
say it that way.
It doesn't feel so impossible, right? I was talking to
Yes,
the
that's the
barista at
word.
that
Yeah.
cafe, and I'm like, "Wow, so is
Mhm.
this a nonprofit?" Because they had this nonprofit sign up there, but I couldn't tell if the cafe was just supporting it or she goes, "Oh, yeah, this whole cafe is part of it, and we do the work with the people, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Wow." I said, "I was thinking about doing something like that. I've been feeling this call to do something, maybe create a nonprofit for
Mhm.
the homeless, blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of nonprofits in the Grand Junction area. You'd find a lot of different places that are,
That's
on that kind
cool.
of level." And I was just like, wow. It just again, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world, right?
Mhm.
There's all these ways that we could be focused on fear and on
Totally.
the separation that's happening and polarization and all this stuff. But there's also a million billion different ways in which people are coming together, people are supporting each other, people are opening their hearts, people are feeling uh, through meditation and different practices, they're quieting their mind and they're listening and they're feeling that connection and that guidance and they're following it, right? Um,
Hmm.
and you know, we're next level real talk. So this is real talk for me. It's
Yeah.
still something that I struggle with, but it's something that we're going to do. And I told a friend of mine who lives in Kentucky, and he's just like, he does pretty well financially, and he's just like, "Do you want me to buy a food truck? You and I could do that. We'll go cook food and drive around and give it away." Like he's like,
Whoa.
and he's not a guy that if you met him, you'd think he would be on board with something like
Hmm.
this. He's very, very not that. He does not present himself like Mr. Compassionate, kind, loving dude on the outside world, but his heart is wide open. And he was just like, yeah. And he goes, and I just talked to him the other day, and he goes, yeah, I talked to 3 different breweries in the area in Kentucky where he lives. And he goes, I talked to 3 different breweries and they'll give us donations. He's like, I already got money lined up. And he's got a lot of money. He's like, you know what, dude, if we want to do this and you come out here, he goes, I'll buy all the food. I got money. We can do this.
Wow.
But
That's
so
awesome.
it's the universe conspiring and aligning with this purpose and this
Mhm.
calling, which came from this place of quietness within my mind and opening the heart, right? So I guess I'm
Mhm.
just trying to describe that there can be a process for how do you connect into that.
Yeah. And I see, I don't want to end it all, but I see this coming to a good close because it's a good story to end on because you're right on what I
Yeah.
was writing down. It's like,
Yep.
um, uh, just let go. You let go of something, like let go and just be held by either
Yep.
your wolf pack,
Yep.
your family, your God, divinity, whatever
Yep.
is your held. Be
Yep.
held by God. God's got
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And in that song it says life is falling into place. Just know that
Yep.
it's a struggle sometimes, but you have to look at it. You have to be able to stop, pray, and then meditate or listen,
Yep.
and then listen to what your divinity, your
Yep.
God is telling you to do, and just be open to it.
Yep.
And as we said last week, I love that quote. It's like, grabbing the other person's hand is helping them
Yep.
get home,
Walking each
and
other
that's
home.
walking each other home. And that's what, just know that, okay, this is going to be a struggle or something. I'm changing from here to here. By the way, it's hard to change a job from one to the other. It
Yep.
really is, and
Yep.
we know it's not like, well, I can't do that. Well, look for the signs.
Yep.
Look for yours.
Yep.
So like you're looking for your sign, you're like, wow, all of a sudden it's all starting to show up more and more.
Yeah.
It's like, this is coming. It's coming,
Yep.
And now if you would have seen that a year ago, like, this is kind of weird, but now it's like in your heart.
Yep.
So those are basically my homeworks, by the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
is let go and just be held, whether
Yep.
that being held is by your divinity or God, your friends, your wolf pack, your family, whatever it is, just let go.
Yep.
And what was it? Uh, what was the quote? Let God or the divinity do what they need to do,
Yep.
and you won't be so exhausted. By the way,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was a little quote.
And
So
we
yeah,
got
get out
to
and do that this week. Just think about letting go. If you're in that middle of stage of going, I don't know what to do right now. Just let go
surrendering
of
up.
you. Just
Yeah.
surrender.
Surrendering
Big
up,
one. Mhm.
in your and opening, surrendering up and letting go, opening the heart and allowing for
Mhm.
something, and then looking at the world from a different perspective. That sometimes the signs and the miracles and stuff like that. Again, you can look at the world as if nothing is a miracle or everything is a miracle, and that's an Einstein quote. Start shifting your perspective and saying, okay, if everything in this world is a miracle, let me see some of that, and then start
And
looking and then being open
and
to it.
that gives you a better heart because you're like, wow, that's cool. Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
Instead of saying, meh, it's just life. Meh, it's
yeah,
just life.
yeah,
It's like yeah, some things aren't miracles as we see them, but it's like something happened. Like, wow, that was a miracle.
yeah,
That was not a coincidence.
yeah,
That was cool.
yeah,
Everything's happened. And so yeah, go out there and have that surrendered heart and just listen. Say your prayers, what you're looking for. Like, what do you want me to do, Lord? And just
yeah, yeah.
be listening.
And I'm going to
So
post a link to that to this other video of this woman who had some pretty miraculous stuff happen in her life when she was at a pretty low point.
okay.
So if you guys are listening this far, like we say, please like and subscribe and share this
Mhm.
with people because it does help us. If you can share the video, we want to reach as many people as we can. So if you want to do that. I'm also
Yep.
going to have, like I said, a link to another video of somebody else that was just a beautiful, beautiful story
Yeah.
that
So
is worth listening to. Is probably like all of 5 minutes. So if you gotten this far, you want to click down in the description and listen to that thing.
yep.
It's definitely worth doing it. I'll have a link for that there.
Awesome. Make sure you get out there and have a great week. Keep that smile on.
Yep. Keep the smile on. We love you guys. You take care.